Everyone. Hello, hello, hello. It is Wednesday. Is it already Wednesday? Wow. May 20th, 2026. It is Dixon inviting at Talk 99.5, talk995.com on YouTube, Real Talk 995 TV.
Hi.
Good morning. Hope everyone is well. We'll give you the quick forecast. It looks like partly cloudy skies this morning, and then maybe this afternoon we really get some rain chances in here. A high of 87. Thursday, partly sunny, 60% chance of rain by the afternoon again, high of 86. Friday, a good bit of cloud cover, 60% chance of rain, high 85. And the weekend, unfortunately, right now is looking a little rainy. For the most part, they're saying Friday, Saturday could be a really rainy day. Maybe Sunday, Monday will be much better.
We can have a good thought.
Yeah, for Memorial Day.
We can believe in ourselves.
Yeah, let's just hope that that's the case. But that's where we're at, and hope you're doing well this morning, Richard.
There's a 100% chance of Pop-Tarts today.
Oh, yes.
That's right. We've got the super stuffed Pop-Tarts. They're actually 50% more stuffing. We haven't done a taste test in forever. So we're going to be trying these out a little bit later in the morning.
Looking forward to it.
Very, very good. We're also going to be talking about primary results and all that. You know, all the nonsense.
Yeah, lots of primary
Whether or
results.
not we're going to be going into Iran. Is that happening? What's happening with Luigi Mangione? And the Tyler Robinson, the guy accused of shooting Charlie Kirk. Okay, he shot him. I think we can just say that.
Yeah,
unless you're Candace Owens, you believe you shot him.
Oh, goodness.
Anthony and Company Jewelers, 2080 Valladale Road, next to Ragtime Cafe. You got a graduate in the family. I'm talking about 6th grade. They do 6th grade graduations now. 5th grade graduations is crazy. 9th grade, 8th grade, whatever. Obviously, high school, college, somebody with a master's degree, whatever it is. A nice piece of jewelry from Anthony and Company Jewelers is a great way to say congratulations, well done, we're very proud of you. And, you know, something that they will commemorate and something that will commemorate the moment that they'll have forever and ever and ever. Amen. You can get something specially made if that's what you want. You can get something redesigned if that's what you want, or you can just select something from their huge, huge selection. And their prices are so low, they cannot afford to have a sale. Don't bother asking. They don't have sales. They've never had a sale to the best of my knowledge. The only time they've ever put anything on sale is when they close it out and they're getting rid of it and they're just losing money on it and they don't care because they're getting rid of that line. It's the only time you're ever going to see a markdown at Anthony and Company Jewelers because their prices are so low on a daily basis. They just can't do it. Anthony and Company Jewelers, 2080 Valleydale Road next to Ragtime Cafe. Online at anthonycojewelers.com. 987-2224 on the telephone. Let's get this thing rolling, shall we?
And now, it's Dixon and Vining's top 3 things you need to know.
Well, pretty wild election day yesterday. Of course, Alabama with primary elections going on. Here is kind of what we know. Tommy Tuberville is in with
by a long shot.
84% for the governor. Let's look at some other ones. U.S. Senate. Looks like you're going to have a little runoff with Barry Moore with 39%, Jared Hudson, 25%, and Steve Marshall with 24%. Mike Rogers with 83% of the U.S. House. Another one is Robert Adderholt. Dale Strong was another one. And then let's go down to Lieutenant Governor. Looks like you got John Wall and Wes Allen. John with 40% of the vote, Wes Allen with about 38%. Another big one was the Attorney General race where you had Pam Casey, Jay Mitchell, and Catherine Robertson. In the runoff is Catherine Robertson and Jay Mitchell. Catherine got 40% of the vote, Jay with about 34%. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. And again, there's also the August 11th election that we've got to do for districts 1, 2, 6, and 7.
Yep.
So be looking out for that as well. An interesting thing that happened in Kentucky, Thomas Massey was defeated handily by Trump-backed Navy SEAL vet Ed Galrin. That was big. That was huge. Everybody was like, well, can he win this? I know Trump is backing him, and really is he going to maybe push out Massey? And that's what it looks like. So that was a big deal yesterday.
Very impressive, and it was announced very early, which I thought was nice. Also, we got, looks like the Republican race for governor in Georgia is between the lieutenant governor, I guess he's the current lieutenant governor, and a guy who Trump is backing, and the Trump-backed guy in the lead. Once again, Jackson is his name, I think. Fairly interesting that Trump-backed, right now, Trump-backed people, aside from John Wall. John Wall was endorsed by Donald Trump, and he's in a runoff. right now with Wes Allen, right? And aside from the runoff in Georgia, all across the board, these Trump-backed people are winning left, right, and center.
Yeah, and the other interesting thing is too is where how valid are some of these polls that are going. You and I have discussed it off the air. I was like, my phone keeps blowing up. I just delete, block, delete, block. How many people are really going about and either answering the phone or answering a text or answering a questionnaire? It seems to me like some of these betting apps that are out there are doing a better job of predicting who's going to win.
I think that's true.
Over a lot of the polls. I mean, polls are almost to me antiquated. Like you better come up with a better system to try to get a pulse on where people are really voting.
Oh, yeah.
Because right now it's getting worse and worse. With every election, it's like these polls are not even close to being correct.
Oh, I saw a poll out of Florida the other day that suggested that the Democratic candidate was going to beat Byron Donald by a lot. And I was like,
where'd you get that?
In that blood red state. Well, I looked at the methodology, and it was the most convoluted mess I'd ever seen. It was something where you were on social media, and you clicked, and it sent you to SurveyMonkey, and then they would also send you a text, and it was of registered voters and not likely voters. And I was just like, this is the biggest mess I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And they're really having trouble with this because cell phones have become the new, rage. Like, nobody has a landline any longer. But that's the way you used to do it, is you call landlines. Now that it's cell phones, you don't really know who you're reaching.
Yeah, no, and the other thing is, too, you just think about your own life. I get a call. I don't recognize who it is.
Yep.
I'm not answering it.
No.
You can leave a message, and then if I realize, oh, well, I know this person, they're just not a contact in my phone, I'll call you back. But I'm not answering any of these polls.
That's true.
I'm not doing it.
No, thank you.
All right, Caroline Leavitt is on maternity leave with her brand new beautiful baby, and yesterday it was Vice President J.D. Vance's turn to hold a White House press conference, and he gave us an update as to how close President Donald Trump was to resuming strikes against Iran. Exactly 1 hour is really what it was. He halted the order to allow for one more negotiation attempt. Let's hope maybe this is the last one with Iran. They're just not going to come to the table. Vance also warned that the U.S. is locked and loaded to resume strikes in Iran through these if the nuclear talks fail. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu held an emergency meeting as Israel's military entered its highest level of alert for potential action since the initial strikes. So here we go. How much longer? How long is Iran going to stall? And that's what this is. This is a stall tactic.
Of course it is.
I don't think they have any desire whatsoever to negotiate giving up nuclear capability or enriched uranium. They're not helping at all in the Strait of Hormuz. So I think that this will be it. Donald Trump's going to get his answer here pretty quick, and then we're done. We're done playing games, and it looks like Israel is prepared to assist in any way that they can, too.
Well, Saudi Arabia apparently is the one that asked Trump to stop and just, go a little more negotiation, please. There does come a time where you just have to look at our allies and go, sorry, this has got to happen. UAE has tried to stop us before. Qatar, of course, has been involved in this. At some point, you got to go, guys, the strait needs to be open, and it's not going to be open if we keep doing this. So let's just go blow the snot out of them, be done with it, and get them to open, basically get them to cry uncle and open the strait, and life will go back to normal.
And I think you're right that, they're talking, the leadership in Iran is telling their people one thing, and they're talking big, and then when they talk to us, they're like, oh, yes, we want to talk. Let's figure out a negotiation. And the other thing that's going on in Iran, and more of this I think will come out, how many of their own people they are killing. I think they have rounded up now about 65,000 people that they are getting ready to slaughter or hang or do something with. So, it's
ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. All right, finally this. A man in the Birmingham area fired at police officers yesterday morning, but luckily no one was injured. Birmingham Police Department officers responded to a call. This was in the 800 block of 3rd Avenue West on a report of a person with a firearm. That suspect fired a shot at officers after being identified by police on the scene. The officers returned fire, and then a brief chase ensued. The man was then eventually taken into custody. I don't know what people are thinking when they do this, how this is going to end for them, But anytime you're going to carry around a weapon, a firearm, there's going to be a call. Somebody's going to say, hey, this guy's walking down the street. He's brandishing a weapon. The police are going to get there, and this is what's going to happen. You're going to end up going to jail, or you might just be shot and killed.
You could be shot dead.
Yeah.
We've certainly seen that happen in the past. Happened right down here on Green Springs several months ago.
I just don't understand the thought on this.
Have you seen the picture of this guy, by the way?
I have not.
Well, here he is right here. This is
You
what
got a
this
picture
guy
of
looks
him?
like. This is what he looks like.
Okay.
You look at that and you go,
All right. Did we just get out of jail?
Well,
That's
I mean,
what I'm thinking.
with that ginormous head, you think he'd have a bigger brain. That's what I don't understand.
He doesn't. No.
It's a 5 head right there. It's not even a 4 head. It's a 5 head. That's how big it is.
I just, and again, the men and women that put these uniforms on every single day and walk out the door, this is one of those instances where you're like, well, that, you just don't know what's going to happen.
Nope.
And you've got this guy out on the street, and you've got to go on scene and unarm him and arrest him for what's going on. And these guys are once again putting their life on the line. And again, thank goodness that no one was injured.
I'm glad they got him. Well done, boys.
Well done.
eTech Communications, etech.cc. Between 2 and 200 phones for your business. Don't forget about the call forwarding, the virtual assistant, the voice over internet protocol that's going to save you thousands over copper wire. If you're still using copper wire, what in the world? Get with the 21st century, man. This is where it's at. VoIP, baby. Get in touch with eTech Communications to find out more. etech.cc. You'll find out so much on that website. I tell you what, I like this website. It is no frills. It's straightforward, just like eTech Communications. Gives you everything you want and nothing you don't. etech.cc. Check them out today. The Doobies are touring again in the fall, but the picture I saw, no Michael McDonald.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you gonna give me a ticket? I don't know.
I've seen him a bunch of times without Michael McDonald. They do a great
Nothing.
job. They do, but nothing quite like when you get him. You get the whole catalog.
Yeah, that's
There's a lengthy period there where Michael McDonald made up 70% of the band. Minute by minute, what a fool believes. I mean, just
the list
one
goes
hit,
on and
one
on
step
and on.
closer. Little darling, I need you. So many great blue-eyed soul
What's
songs.
the reason he's not touring? Is he not well, or just didn't want to? Or
He is on and off part of that band and has been for a long, long time. So, I mean, sometimes he's doing something else.
Yeah,
He's just busy.
I get that.
Maybe he's going to tour alone. Maybe he's
Did you ever did you listen at all to like the Motown album that he put out? Like
Yes.
remakes of a lot of
Love
Motown.
that.
It's a great album.
one of the greatest.
Really fun.
I wish I'd gotten to see the Dukes of September. They played in the Tuscaloosa Amphitheater at one point, not too terribly long ago. And I really would have loved to see them because it was him and lead guy from Steely Dan, Donald Fagen, and
my
Boz
goodness.
Skaggs.
Yeah.
I mean, the three of them together, ooh, that would have been
That's
a show.
pretty rock
man.
solid, isn't it?
Spud, my good buddy Spud saw them, but I missed it. 6:25 with Dixon and Vining. You should not miss the great deals at Rodney's Marine. They're out there on Highway 231 in Cropwell. They got the Silver Wave and the Starcraft as tri-tunes and pontoons.
Yep.
And they got the Suzuki Power. And that is a 5-year warranty on that Suzuki Power. That is amazing. Those engines are fantastic. They're the most amazing engines everybody's talking about.
Now Donald Trump is
Just
on Rodney's boat.
Just drifting into the Trump. Can't help myself. And on top of that, with the in-house financing and the low monthly payments, you'll be amazed at how affordable a boat can be.
Yeah, here's the thing about Rodney. Rodney is in the category of an expert in all things boats, engines, and lake life, and there's no doubt about that. If you know Rodney, you know that he has spent his entire life out in that area and out on the lake. So he knows everything about boats. So if you're like, why Suzuki engines? Trust me, he knows that this is the best engine to put on the back of one of his boats, and he believes in it. And it's just because they're quiet and fuel efficient and reliable and all the things you want in an engine that goes on the back of your boat like Suzuki. So when you're ready to purchase a boat, please go see Rodney and tell him that we sent you. He's a wonderful guy. His wife, Kimberly, is a part of the business. You got guys that are working back there on the boats that know what they're doing. They can accessorize your boat if you're thinking about, I'd like to have a stereo system on that boat. Hey, I'd really love to have some cool lights. Maybe we're going to be out on it at night. Memorial Day, maybe you're going to be out July 4th. You want to go see the fireworks on the boat.
Oh, yeah.
All of these things, that's what's so great about knowing Rodney and Rodney's Marine. And if you're not sure about all of it, because you're like, well, I hadn't been out on a boat in a long time, why don't you rent one of his boats? You can do that by calling him at 525-1500. Go out and see him. He's on Highway 231, Lake Logan Martin and Cropwell on Facebook, and his website is rodneysmarine.com.
Yeah, boy. I have heard over the past 12 hours now so many convoluted bits of analysis about why Thomas Massey was beaten in Kentucky. I mean, Massey himself says he agrees with Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's because we released the Epstein files. Excuse me. Almost all the Republicans in the House voted for releasing the Epstein files. They didn't get beaten in their races. What in the world are you talking about? They've come up with every excuse in the book for this. Let me put it to you as cleanly and plainly as I can. And by the way, it never hurts to have President Trump's endorsement. It doesn't mean you're a shoo-in. John Wall, living proof of that. I mean, John Wall is in a runoff now here for lieutenant governor. So, getting the endorsement doesn't automatically mean that you're going to win outright. Here's all you need to know about this. The district in which Thomas Massey was the representative now for 7 terms.
That's a long time.
14 years. He was going for another couple, right? He was hoping for an 8th term. The district which he represented in 2024 went for Donald Trump by over 70%.
There you go.
72 to 28 Trump-Harris, okay? So when you're the representative of that district And everything you do
is against everything Donald Trump wants.
You're putting a thumb in the eye of the guy that your district obviously loves. How do you think your election is going to turn out?
Yeah, I don't know why he's so blind and deaf to all of this.
I don't understand
it.
why the supposed analysts are like, well, it's because of this and that. It's because 70% of his district loves Trump and he hates Trump. And they just looked at him and said, you know what? You're not the guy for us.
No.
It wasn't even done out of malice or hatred or we're going to stick it to him. We're not, there's no revenge. There's no anything. It really just comes down to, we've made a mistake. We've got you, a guy who doesn't want to work with this president, and we clearly love this president. Let's get a guy who wants to work with the president. Let's replace you with someone who wants to work with. That's all it is. It's not complex. And why these people are bending themselves into pretzels on TV, trying to come up with 19 different reasons why this happened. I'm an Occam's razor guy. It's as simple as can be.
And for some reason, he doesn't get that.
No.
He doesn't understand that. He's not paying. I don't know what it is. It's quite odd. Because I think for us, it's very simplistic. It's the will of the people. It's what people want. It's what Donald Trump. If you do something opposite of that, why would they leave? Why would they vote for you again? They wouldn't. And Donald Trump said, "This man, Ed Gilren, is gonna, do what I need him to do, and represent you all in the way that you want to be represented because you voted for Donald Trump." It's not hard.
No, he thought he had a chance, though. He said, I've had 100, 200, sometimes 300 people show up for my events. This
Who
is what
cares?
Massey's saying.
Yeah.
So my opponent had to cancel events because he couldn't get enough people, to fill up a Dairy Queen. Dude, he beat you by 10 points. It was 55-45, if you're wondering.
Not very close.
10,000 vote difference in a not terribly large district. You got waxed. Bye-bye now. Look who else is walking out the door. 636, Dixon inviting Talk 99.5, talking99.5.com. Yeah, we got some rain in the forecast today, probably 60% chance today, tomorrow, Friday.
You know what else we got? And we haven't talked a lot about it, is the SEC baseball tournament going on at the Hoover Met.
East True.
How about that?
Yeah, Auburn's excited about it
today.
because they've been doing pretty well this year. Of course, Alabama almost always does well, but everybody sort of dines at the altar of Mississippi State. I don't know when Mississippi State just decided we're going to be a baseball school because they are astounding.
Yeah, they're ranked number 8 in the tournament. Auburn's number 6. Auburn plays today at 8 o'clock. That'll be tonight.
All right.
8 o'clock tonight.
Let's hope that the rain holds off for them because I know they'd like to get a whole game in if possible. Alabama Men's Clinic. Let's talk a little bit about your testosterone, shall we, gentlemen? If you are around 50 years old, sometimes it's earlier. Sometimes it's, 42, 43. Guys begin to lose a step. They feel a little sluggish. You're waking up in the morning. You're not all here. You're thinking, I used to get by on 6, 7 hours of sleep, and now suddenly I need 9. What's going on? What you're looking at is probably low T. Your testosterone level's not where it's supposed to be. Not unusual. It happens all the time. And there are ways of getting it right back up where it needs to be. And the Alabama Men's Clinic can share those with you. First, you get a test to find out where you are. Then they talk to you about ways to get your testosterone boosted. And then if you have ED, they can talk to you about what it's going to take to remedy that. If you want to work on hair loss, weight loss, peptides, GLP-1s, they can talk to you about any and all of those things. This is actual medicine from actual doctors who treat a whole human being. Men is their middle name, and they do treat you like an actual human being, which I really appreciate. You'll love your experience with the Alabama Men's Clinic at 598-7000 or online at alabamamensclinic.com. Make an appointment there in 30 seconds or less and begin improving your life immediately. The new Civil Liberties Alliance has filed a lawsuit against Illinois officials over the state's Firearm Owners Identification Act, also known as the FOID Card Act, the Firearm Owner Identification Act, FOID, yeah. It's a state law that requires Illinois residents to apply for and carry an identification card at all times to possess any firearm or ammunition. Now, this is not the same as a concealed carry permit. I'm saying if you have a gun in your home,
got to have that card with you.
You have to have that card.
Are we sleeping with that card?
I'm wondering. That's kind of weird, isn't it?
It's under our pillow as we sleep.
You at least need to be able to track it down, find it. I mean, it doesn't seem to me like it's that complex. You slip it into your wallet next to your driver's license, right? And you just go, okay, here, I got it. But they do have a point. The Second Amendment says we have the right to keep and bear arms. It doesn't say, but only after you check with the state and see if it's okay. And that's exactly what the state is doing. They're saying, we're going to issue you this, and you have to have it with you all the time. It's like, and if you're gonna conceal carry, then you have to get a whole nother permit. And you're like,
so I gotta have two cards, and or does one suffice?
This is even if you just have ammo on you, you have to have it. Ammunition.
I feel like I'm in Turks and Caicos.
Yeah, what is this all
Take
about?
me into custody because I have one bullet.
Right. We found a bullet in your bag.
Around in my bag.
Yeah. What do you think? I'm going to insert this manually? What is that?
Spit it out of my mouth?
That's right. Puh.
Been watching too many cartoons.
Remember the Jerry Seinfeld bit about the guy who catches a bullet, the magician who catches. How do they do that? They start by tossing it to him, and then they work their way up. Okay, this one's coming a little bit faster. What?
I think not.
Bang! Yikes! I don't know. I agree that Illinois is. It's another one of those instances where you look at it, you go, well, you came up with this great plan. Everybody's got to have papers if they're going to have a gun on them, legally, obviously. Everybody's got to have papers if they're going to own a gun, legally, obviously. And yet your murder rate in Chicago is still astronomical, and my guess is it's not happening with legal weapons.
That's exactly right. That is exactly.
I mean, I find it funny. Remember,
let's focus on that. Let's fix that. Why don't you ask Donald Trump for a little extra help there in Illinois and see if you can't bring the crime rate down a little bit. That might be more of a problem and an issue than you walking around with a card to tell everybody that you legally can have this ammunition and this weapon.
You bring up a very good point here, which is how many times are Democrats going to be wrong on things before they just start to re-examine everything that they believe in? I mean, they said, no, more police isn't the answer. We're not going to fix this problem with more police. And Donald Trump said, well, let's just try it. Let's throw more police, let's throw some feds, and let's throw some National Guardsmen on the streets in Washington, D.C.
See if it works.
Oh, my gosh, the crime rate went down 60%. Let's try it in Memphis. Oh, my gosh, the crime rate went down 60%. This is amazing. Kind of looks like it works. When was the last time we heard Democrats say this won't work? The wall. Walls don't work. Walls aren't going to make a difference. You can't do this with walls. We put up a giant wall. Guess what? No people coming across the border.
Nobody.
Not a few, not one or two, not 17. 0 per month in the last several months. That's an amazing number right there. And the wall has a lot to do with it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And enforcement.
And
enforcement has a lot to do with it.
I guess, it has to do with common sense. Because when you hear, like, well, listen, what if we put a big wall up here to keep people from getting... Oh, that does make sense to me. Yes, walls tend to keep you... I mean, you have them around your house.
Yeah, your home is a perfect example. Why bother locking your doors and keeping your windows locked?
When you have, like, a Nancy Pelosi mansion, you tend to put walls up around it. Mm-hmm. Hollywood Hills, big stars. What's her name? Billie Eilish, who wants to give her home back to the Indians.
Does she?
Yeah, she does.
She really does.
She's obviously concerned.
She didn't. After she said it, she didn't mean to say it.
But she's got a big wall.
I did find it amazing that she quieted down after everybody basically pointed that out to her.
And she's always been quiet.
Yeah, she talks.
Depressing as heck. Have you ever heard any of her music?
Oh yeah.
It's really depressing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was about 2 seconds away from bathing with my toaster, and then I just turned off the radio. It worked out for me. Yeah. But anyway, yes. So obviously, common sense says walls work. Common sense says more police on the ground works. Common sense says, no, we're not warming to the point where the polar ice caps are going to melt and New York's going to be underwater. None of that makes sense from a logical standpoint. I'm using my brain, and none of this makes... And recently, the New York Times had to come out and go, yeah, you know what? That global warming is not that big a thing. The UN had to come out and go, all those predictions we were way off. I mean... How many times are Democrats going to be wrong about this stuff before they stop and they say, you know what, maybe we should just go over in the corner and shut up for a while?
That would be a good idea.
I don't expect them. I mean,
no.
Do you think AOC is going to shut up?
No, more nonsense.
She knows how.
No.
And
I sometimes I want to get into that brain and go, do you really believe what it is that you're saying? Do you believe the words that are coming out of your mouth?
You want to get into that brain?
I just for the life of me, I can't fathom.
Not really sure there's a whole lot going on.
Dark and scary is what it is.
Like, how can you how can you believe these things?
Well, again, you continue to make one good point after another, which is, does she honestly believe it?
That's the question.
Or is she, as we refer to them, a useful idiot?
Which is it?
The powers that be that are...
I honestly don't know which it is.
I know that there are useful idiots out there who really honestly believe that global warming is a thing and it should be something that we should be concerned about and we should be spending money on it hand over fist. Mark Cuban's a perfect example. I mean, he may be tied in with Trump on the whole Trump RX thing, but this guy's gone off the rails on global warming multiple times.
Well, let's hope, since he now is tied with Donald Trump, and they were together yesterday, I believe it was, that maybe Donald Trump will begin to have an influence on him, and maybe he'll change his mind on some other things. We'll see.
I would love to see it. I'm not going to hold my breath. Because common sense tells me if I hold my breath long enough, I die. See, I don't need to experiment with that.
We understand that not everybody does have common sense. So I guess it's possible that someone like AOC doesn't have any common sense, and what she's saying is really what she believes. But I just, for the life of me, do not understand that.
Well, look at it this way. Before the war in Gaza, before everybody was like, you know what, I really want to leave. You had Palestinian children who were raised to believe that Israelis were subhuman. There was some cross between pigs and dogs. They were horrible people who were put on this planet to be extinguished by the Palestinian people. And they were raised that way from birth. So it's not really a surprise that they get into young adulthood and they want to take up arms against Israelis because they've been taught their whole lives that these people are terrible. Without her having met one, by the way. They get taught this from the ground up. So if you grow up in AOC's environment, a Democrat household, and you're told with great regularity that the polar ice caps are going to melt and that we're all going to be underwater soon and it's going to be a nightmare, how do you let that go? How do you just drift away from that? Immediately, it's got to be difficult.
Well, again, you're drinking the juice.
Yeah.
It's like those that don't look at any other news source than CNN. Mm-hmm. You do that long enough,
you become stupid.
Yeah, that kind of, yeah. I mean, you just can't do that. You can't live your life just looking at CNN. You are going, I think of Jim Jones, all the people in the gym. You're a Jim Jones
Yes.
person.
Yeah.
You're just drink the Kool-Aid because that's what they're telling you to do. Go blindly like a lamb. And COVID is a perfect example of those that said, this is crazy. I'm not doing this any longer.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be a lamb just
That
led
was,
around.
That was a
like
microcosm,
this.
wasn't it? That
It
was,
was.
we got the perfect storm there where the people with common sense were able to say, seriously,
I'm not
the
doing
arrow
this.
on the grocery store floor is going to
No,
fix this? Like,
no.
do you really believe that? Shoving everyone through one door at the Publix is going to fix this? Are you honestly thinking that that's the answer here?
We need to remember that for the rest of our life. Somebody needs to write multiple books and keep handing it down. Keep handing it down to generations. If this ever happens again, don't fall for this.
What Valerie is saying is, COVID, never forget. 6:53, Talk 99.5, talk995.com. We've got some wet weather ahead today, tomorrow, and Friday. And it looks like we might have some over the weekend as well as the SEC baseball tournament gets underway. I think most of the daytime games are going to be okay. Yeah. The night games are going to be a little dicey.
Yeah, I think later on this afternoon it could get a little tricky. So you got the games today are 9, 1, 5, and 8. So 4 games today.
Alrighty then.
Take a pick and go.
It's all out there at the old Hoover Met.
Beautiful.
Some of our texts today, Casey says, I like the Doobie Brothers before Michael McDonald was on board. Yeah, I hear that a lot, and that's great because you've got a lot to choose from with that. They had several albums before Michael McDonald joined, and then they had several more after he left. They had at least 2 because they broke up, and then they got back together again, and they did a comeback album, and now they have another album. Michael McDonald is on this newer album, by the way, but they had one in between those 2. So you got about 5 albums to choose from that don't have Michael McDonald on them, if that's your thing. I like it all. I mean, I've never been one to be like, let's just dismiss everything with this guy on it. I like the Blue-Eyed Soul Doobies. I like the Rock and Roll Doobies. I like it all.
Yeah.
What's not to like? Let's see. Jeff says, polls aren't designed to predict elections. They're designed to influence them. Some are. First off, polls, P-O-L-E-S, that's like Polish people. So I'm not sure that Polish people can predict elections. I could be wrong.
We knew what he meant.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Okay. Maybe that was talk to text.
There are some polls like Rasmussen that try very hard to get it right. They take a great deal of pride in being among the closest. I think in the 24 election, they were the 3rd closest of all the polls in terms of getting the results right. And they take a great deal of pride in that. Zogby used to. Remember when Zogby was kind of the gold standard? And then suddenly they decided that they were going to get all partisan and started leaning, and you're like, dude, you're way off and you look terrible. Why would you do that? Why would you destroy your credibility? Because they were doing exactly what Jeff was talking about, which is they were trying to influence the election. Many polls that we had in 24 were designed to do nothing more than keep Republicans away from the voting booth, just to go like, oh, you're not going to win. Kamala's so far ahead, there's no point in voting. That Iowa poll, remember the Iowa poll that came out, said she was going to win by 13? She lost by 7 in Iowa? It was like, wow, you could not have been further off. That's embarrassing. The woman who did that poll, she worked for the Iowa newspaper up there, the Iowa Corn Pone or whatever it is. What was that called for?
Yes, it was.
She, mea culpa later, she was just like, oh, I got a few things wrong there. You were off by 20 points. Yeah. You didn't get a few things wrong.
You should never, never be a meteorologist and never do that again.
You should never poll again. You're done. You're finished. Your life is over as we know it. Pistol permit for concealed carry or open carry is an infringement upon our rights. Let's not forget that. Well, we are allowed down in the state of Alabama to conceal carry without a license, which is nice. And you can keep one in your vehicle without having to have a concealed carry permit, which is nice. And you can
open carry.
You've always been able to open carry without a permit.
Yeah.
However, the Supreme Court has ruled that reasonable restrictions are acceptable under the Constitution and that you can force people to have a concealed carry permit. But if you're going to reject their concealed carry permit, as some states have been doing for some time now, rejecting almost everybody for a concealed carry permit, you'd better come up with a really good reason why they can't have it. Basically, the Supreme Court said every state should be a shall issue state unless you can find a reason why this person can't have one. And it better be a really good reason. So little by little, we're getting to the point where more and more states are being like Alabama. But yes, the Supreme Court has ruled that you can insist upon a concealed carry permit as a state if you are so inclined. Jerry from Birmingham points out that common sense is not that common. It is true.
So true.
Tony says, I voted yesterday Republican for Tommy Tuberville, Jay Mitchell, and Jared Hudson. Thanks for the heads up there, Tony. I'm not telling anybody who I voted for because there's enough runoffs.
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
I don't ever want to be responsible for swaying somebody's vote. You vote for who you're going to vote. When it's all over, I'll be happy to tell you who I voted for. But right now, I'm not gonna go down that road. Playing the victim pays big dividends. Talking about Democrats, I assume, Stephen? Is that what you're talking about?
Maybe.
Playing the
AOC. Who knows? Could be.
Let's see. Jeff says, don't be a Richard. What are you trying to say?
I don't know.
I am a Richard.
Is that our Jeff joke, Jeff? Or no?
I don't think that's the Jeff
No,
joke.
not Jeff joke.
No. That's a different Jeff.
Okay.
We have lots of different Jeffs who are listening. When I read Jeremy Odom's name, that stupid commercial he ran last time popped in my head, and that was the reason I didn't vote for him, says Craig. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, the ads can sometimes have negative effects.
They absolutely can. I mean, he's not in my district, so I can make fun of him. I didn't have to vote on him. But the Scott Ortiz ad was just hilarious. He's going to go to Montgomery, and he's going to drain the swamp. And he promises to only serve 2 terms. Like, you're going to drain the swamp in 2 terms?
Good luck with that.
How much power do you think you have in Montgomery, by the way, as a state senator? Not as much as you think, I'm guessing. Donald Trump, by the way, finally yesterday came out with an endorsement in the Texas Republican Senate race. Now, understand, the primary's already taken place, and now we're in the runoff. And the runoff is between former Attorney General of Texas, Ken Paxton, and John Cornyn, a guy who has pretty consistently been anti-Trump. So not surprisingly, Donald Trump came out in favor of Ken Paxton. But we finally got an endorsement in that race out of Donald Trump. I think, and this is the funny part of this, Trump wants to make sure you can win before he endorses you.
Yeah.
Because he kind of looks at any endorsement that he makes that doesn't win as a black mark on his record.
He doesn't like that.
So he's like, I'm not going to endorse you unless I can be sure you at least have a chance of winning. I mean, he pulled his endorsement from Mo Brooks specifically because the polls showed he wasn't going to win and moved it over to the winner, Katie Britt.
Yep.
It's like, wow, you can't take looking bad, can you? Okay, I see how things are. Man has got an ego the size of all outdoors. It is nearly as big as mine. 7 o'clock, Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, talk995.com.